Haters, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo están? Bienvenidos nuevamente a otro video de su sección de conversaciones desde el inframundo. En esta ocasión tenemos los manteles larguísimos porque estamos recibiendo a una leyenda viva del metal. Tenemos aquí el gran placer de recibir a Per Gustafsson, alias Hellbutcher, el vocalista y líder de la banda Hellbutcher, que nos recibe desde Suecia, este gran proyecto, nuevo proyecto de black metal con algunos toques de speed, que estará lanzando su álbum debut homónimo Hellbutcher el 31 de mayo a través de Metal Blade Records. Hellbutcher, thanks a lot for being here in El Hater for Conversation from the Underground. How are you doing, man?
Oh, I'm fine. I'm fine. Thank you for having me as well, of course.
Yeah, man, it's for me. It's a pleasure and honor to have a legend like you, taking some time to speak with us, to speak to all Latin American folks that are watching this video. Because I mean, not every day you can talk to a legend such as yourself. So again, thank you.
No problems. No problems.
Man, so you will be releasing your first album with Hellbutcher this May 31st through Metal Blade Record. That's great. I already heard them. Actually, this week my review comes out, so be sure to take a look at that because it's such a good album, a hell of a way to start a new career with this new project. So congratulations for that.
Thank you. Thank you.
So without further ado, this is my first question, and this question is courtesy of Greg and Tim, the bass and guitar players for respectively of sludge metal band Border from New Zealand. And the question is this one. What was your childhood dream?
To start a black metal band.
Yeah, man. I kind of imagine that.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Well, it kind of was really, I have always been totally into the metal, So, yeah, that was kind of my childhood dream to start a band, a metal band, whatever, kind of metal, but, a real metal band.
Man. So you've been living the dream for decades now.
Yeah, well, you can say so.
Yeah, man, and that's great. I mean, you're such a fortunate guy because I think most of metalheads sometimes in their lives dreamed about being a metal musician and living from that. So I guess you're living the dream for lots of us.
Well, yeah, it's not always like a dream, It's
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a total misery as well. But well, you have to have ups and downs, I guess.
Yeah, man, it's not all pink colored. So as
Yeah,
you said, it has its ups and downs. But yeah, man, it's just metal. It's life is rock and roll, so it's totally worth it.
totally, absolutely. That's
Great,
true.
great. Thanks, man. The next question I got for you is this one. You have stated, sorry, that you believe this band has the potential to surpass Nifelheim, mainly due to the fact that this band shares a common goal. What is
Yes.
that common goal you speak of, and since when did you realize that that was not longer the case with Nifelheim?
Well, the thing is that in Nifelheim, I was working with my brother, and we are just not getting along really. So whatever I wanted to do, he was against it, and vice versa, I would say. So it was extremely dysfunctional in many ways. Even if we managed to do some records, it was just like a slow process, way more arguing and fighting than actually playing music. In this band, I have no no such
No siblings.
no siblings in my band anymore, and that makes it way easier to work. This time we have like what I mean with a common goal is that we all want the same thing. Like we want to achieve some kind of progress to make a big stage show, like hopefully like in the old 80s, you know, when they usually had a bigger, you know, stage production than nowadays, when it's more or less just clubs. That's what I'm trying to achieve, you know. But it's, you know, you never know what's happening. That's what I'm trying to achieve anyway.
Yeah, it's kind of bringing back the golden era of metal.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man. I wasn't born there, but I surely miss that era, because I mean, I just watched the videos, watched the community, all that was happening in those days, and man, I wish I was in that times. I was alive, because it was just awesome. It was so revolutionary, so heartfelt, so passionate. I mean, seeing all those guys, all those people, young people, just racing against the system, the costumes, all the what we can tag as old school, and just creating their own thing.
Yeah, it wasn't old school then, you know. So
no, I mean, that was old school then. I mean, just like Beatles, so
exactly.
that's kind of stuff.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
Great, man. Thanks a lot for your answer. And the next question I got for you is this one. Since you chose to work without an outside producer for this first album, tell me, did you think involving one will affect the resulting sound in a negative way?
Yeah, it could. You never know, you know, when you have some producer, they have their opinion, I have my opinion. The whole thing with this album is that I wanted to do an album the way I wanted it to be done, you know, really. So that was one aspect of it. The other aspect was that we are all, you know, kind of skilled producers, and you know, everything, you know, we know everything, how to record an album in the band, the band members, you know. So we had absolutely no use to go to a studio for a, you know, producer, to have a producer or anything like that.
Yeah, and if you have the expertise within the ranks of the band, why bother?
Yeah, exactly.
And the result in this album turned out the way you imagined it will be. It is better. You lack something. What do you say about that?
No, I am actually quite satisfied with this album, really. I mean, production wise, it's just like I wanted it. It's not like an over the top old school sound, you know, that's just created to sound like a certain band or some certain era. It's just we were striving to find a, you know, natural sound, you know, like organic sound.
Yeah,
you know, as they used more in the old days. No triggers on the drums, nothing like that. And we tried to have a bit of a live vibe to the whole recording, which I think is, yeah, well, the result is kind of the way I wanted it. So I'm really satisfied with the result of the production.
well, the album sounds amazing. I mean, it's just a heavy metal classic sound without all the the austerity that comes with that tag. I mean, the solos sound great. The drums are just definitive. The voice, it sounds splendid. All is very well produced, recorded. All is just sounds great. And when you put all those elements together, no one gets damaged in that conjunction. It sounds very good, very clean, raw at the same time, and aggressive as fuck. I mean, it's just great.
Thank you. Yeah, you sum it up very well there.
That was the mission. It sounded great as fuck.
Cool. Yeah.
Great, man. The next question I got for you. What is your opinion about traditionally metal associated imagery being exploited by pop acts such as, I don't know, maybe Poppy, you know, this Billie Eilish, I don't know how you pronounce it, this kind of acts taking advantage of the metal imagery?
I'm really not. You know, I'm living in my own little bubble here, you know, so I hardly hear about things like that. I have no really. I cannot say anything about it because I don't know anything about it. I've never seen anything because I try to avoid all music that is not metal, you know.
Yeah.
I never listen to the radio. I never, you know, watch TV, and I yeah, well, occasionally I bump into something, but it's very rare. So just another day, I was doing an interview with some English magazine, and they asked about the Eurovision contest. You know, they had some,
Yeah.
you know, what was it? Some Satan black metal thing going on there. I had no idea what he was talking about, so I couldn't answer that question either. You know, I I'm just too much, you know, into my own bubble.
Yeah, I mean, and bands such as Lordi have came through those kind of competitions. So
Yeah.
maybe you
Yeah,
can hear
I
something
know
that is
about
worth it.
them actually. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
we played with them once in with Nifelheim, really. So I know this band.
Yeah, man. I mean, this side of the world, mainly because we are the neighbor from the U.S., we see a lot of these acts just making profit of the metal imagery. I mean, here in Mexico, there's kind of a wave, a mode that pop personalities are using metal T-shirts,
Yeah.
chains, jackets with pins and all that stuff. And we all know it's just for image sake. It's not that they
Yeah.
like this.
Now I get where you're going. Yeah. I know now because sometimes when I'm, you know, in the streets somewhere and I look at someone, there's a metalhead, and then you just look at them again, and no, it's not. It's some weird thing going on. So that's what you're talking about, probably. That there is
Yeah,
a fashion thing going on with old shirts and stuff like that, and people don't even know that it is a band, probably.
yeah, and it's a very divisive topic because a lot of people say that the ones that don't like that kind of stuff going on are gatekeepers, and
Yeah.
the so-called gatekeepers they think that those kind of people are just posers. So it's a cultural warfare in this kind of scenarios that it is kind of hard to just let people be, but at the same time don't just be okay with I know people who are not into that kind of music style or even that kind of thought just
Yeah.
take advantage of that imagery.
Yeah. Well, you should know of what kind of shirts and stuff you are wearing. If I wouldn't put on a hip hop T-shirt without, you know, like knowing what it was about at least,
Yeah,
you know. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I kind of dig some hip hop artists like Notorious B.I.G. and those stuff, Tupac Shakur, but I'm not a fan, so I don't feel comfortable just buying a shirt from with their
No,
image
no,
and
no.
just wearing it. I kind of liked a few songs of them, but that's it. I don't like to be
Yeah.
impersonating a person that I am not.
No, exactly. Exactly. It's always the most important is just to be yourself. That's always the best. Even if you're not like, you know, like if you're not a metalhead, why should you try to be a metalhead? It doesn't
Yeah.
matter to anyone anyway, you know.
Yeah, even metal has. If you don't like metal and you don't wear metal T-shirts, it doesn't matter. If you're a cool guy or a cool girl, you're very welcome to hang out.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean.
Yeah, man. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot for your answer. The next question I got for you is this one. Um, Hellbutcher's sound resembles in various ways to the one of Nifelheim, but at the same time, there is something about it that has lots of freshness. It's like we have awakened a demon who's slept for thousands of years and now is coming for all of us. What is the reason behind this renewed energy in you, and what can we expect of Hellbutcher's shows?
To start with, I think that the kind of inspiration that I had for this album, it just came from the fact that I was able to do, anything the way I wanted to do it without arguing, which was totally new to me. and and it was just like, it's so, it was just a great feeling to just like make a song, exactly however you wanted it, without having to discuss anything. That was, it's just as simple as that, actually, I would say. And the next question was about what you can expect from the live
yeah
show. Yeah, you will be able to see a bit what it is about when the album is out. There is a limited edition with a DVD from our first gig, included in the release. So if you are interested, you will see what it's about. It's a lot of fire, and as I said before, I'm trying to do a big, production. So it's not just like any show. It must be something more.
Yeah, it needs to be something that sticks with you throughout your life.
Yeah,
man, because nowadays there is a lot of bands who, I mean, a lot of creative guys are making metal. There's great albums out there, but then when you go to their shows, there's definitely not that energy they project in their albums. So there's kind of something missing, and at the end of the show, you just didn't connect with them.
Yeah. But that, I think that's also very much what can you say, a personal thing. You have to be like 200% on stage. You have to give 200%, not 100%. It's not enough. I'm getting, every time I perform, I am getting totally, like possessed or whatever. And after the show, I can hardly, walk because I'm so tired. But it's just like I'm getting into a special live mood, and I think not everyone has that
No,
that
definitely
thing
no.
in them, really. It's just like a personal thing, I guess. But some people have it. It's just some people have it, some people don't have it.
Yeah, I can totally understand that. I mean, as you say, there is kind of a mood you need to get into in order to deliver a great show. To be not just the singer, the guitar, or the bass player, the drummer. You need to be kind of a showman in order to make your performance, your presentation memorable. Because lots of bands just they play really good, they deliver technically and in the sound a very good product, but at the end of the day, will you be remembering just that? I mean, you need to see it, you need to feel it, you need to be part of it in order to make it your own, and that sticks with you throughout many months.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, you have to be kind of mad in some sense to do a really memorable show. I would say. I think some people probably think I'm totally mad or stupid or whatever, but I don't care. That's the way it should be.
Yeah, man, I mean, fuck them. Either they like it or don't. So
yeah, exactly.
That's what they say about Gene Simmons pouring blood out of his mouth, about the God of Hellfire, about many acts that just started their own thing, and now they are just legendary because they had the balls to just go through it.
Yeah, exactly. If you have an idea, why you should just go with that idea and don't listen to anyone. That's a good advice.
Yeah, man. Certainly, it is a good advice, and it is one that many bands, whether they are new or old, they should be following.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, man. And those were all the questions I wrote down for you. And please help me now with the question for my next guest. As I told you before, it will be a member of the band Zompantli. So, as I said before, it can be anything you like: food, music, movies, I don't know, the neighborhood they live in, whatever you want.
Yeah. Well, I am predictable, so I'm gonna ask, what do you think of Iron Maiden?
Oh man, that's a very good question, because nowadays it's a band that maybe for most of the people, because they are old school, goes under the radar until they release new music, but then the hype goes very rapidly up. But the next day the album came out, the people just forget about them, and they rapidly go up with the hype once they are touring, because their shows are legendary. But once they are out of your country, most of the people just forget about them and never touch an Iron Maiden record until the next one comes, and they start revisiting the old stuff. So it's
Maybe, yeah.
I know lots of people like that.
All right, yeah. I'm totally, into Iron Maiden, and so I'm always interested in the opinion about the Iron Maiden things. You can see here, it's all over my wall.
Yeah, man, me too. I mean, the first metal album I heard was The Number of the Beast, thanks to an uncle of mine who is a rocker, and then I just continued to listen to them, and I was like 4 years old.
All right, cool.
Yeah,
that's
man.
Great.
And
that's
Hellbutcher, Per, thanks a lot for your kindness, your time. You are such a delight to talk with, and I can thank you enough for allowing us to get to know you a little better, to talk about the Hellbutcher debut album, who comes the 31st of May through Metal Blade Records. Don't forget that. Listen to the 2 singles that are out now. The review will be out this week, because I mean, I had such a blast, a hell of a time listening to it over and over again. I was just moving my head banging, putting out the air guitar. It's such a fun record. Congratulations, me, because I mean, you sound like a band, like if you were a bunch of youngsters just arriving at the metal scene.
Yeah. We still got the spirit,
That's all, man. That's all what it takes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for having me, and I'm glad that you are, promoting Hellbutcher in the South America and Mexico and
man,
all over.
A pleasure for me. Y haters, eso es lo que tenemos en esta nueva edición de Conversaciones desde el Inframundo con Per Gustafsson, mejor conocido como Hellbutcher. No olviden escuchar el más reciente, bueno, más bien el álbum debut de su banda Hellbutcher, 31 de mayo, Metal Blade Records. La reseña sale esta semana. Nos estamos viendo en el siguiente video. Cuídense mucho. Hasta luego. See you later, Hellbutcher. Thanks a lot.
See you later. Cheers.